Today, we're going to dive into what's often called the world's oldest living religion, Hinduism, or as its followers call it, Sanatana Dharma, which beautifully translates to the eternal way. And to help us unpack this, we're working with material from the Hindu American Foundation. So you've probably heard of Hinduism. I mean, with over 1 billion followers, it's one of the planet's major spiritual traditions. But let's be honest, it can seem huge. A little complex, right? With a history that goes back thousands and thousands of years? So what is it really all about when you get right down to it? Well, for a second, I want you to just set aside everything you think you know. Because according to our source material, this entire vast tradition can be understood through just 2 core ideas. Seriously, just 2. And they pretty much unlock everything else. And here they are: oneness and pluralism. Now, I know they might sound like just a couple of philosophical buzzwords, but they're not. They are the absolute bedrock of the Hindu worldview. They shape everything about how people see the world, each other, and the divine. So first up is oneness, and it's captured perfectly in this beautiful Sanskrit phrase, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It means the universe is one family. And that's not just a nice sentiment. It means that everything, and I mean everything, from you and me to a star in a galaxy billions of light years away, is all just a different expression of the same divine reality. We all have that same divine spark inside us. And that idea of oneness leads directly to our second concept, pluralism. There's another great phrase for this one. Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vedanti. It means truth is one, the wise call it by many names. Think about that. If ultimate reality is one, then it only makes sense that there would be tons of different, totally valid ways to understand it. No one has a monopoly on the truth. So how do these two fit together? It's actually pretty simple. Oneness is the core belief. It's the what. It says we are all fundamentally connected. And pluralism is the natural result. It's the how. It's the acceptance that all our different paths and perspectives are just unique ways of connecting with that one single reality. It's a powerful way to have unity and diversity at the same time. Okay, so if your whole philosophy is built on embracing many different paths, how in the world do you keep track of all that wisdom? Well, over millennia, this incredible library of sacred texts grew, with different thinkers all exploring these same big truths. Generally, Hindu scriptures get organized into 2 big buckets. You've got Shruti, which means what is heard. These are considered timeless, divinely revealed truths, kind of like the spiritual laws of the universe. And then you have Smriti, which means what is remembered. These are texts written by brilliant sages to help explain those eternal truths and apply them to our lives. So what does that look like in practice? Well, for Shruti, you have the foundational texts like the Vedas and the Upanishads. And in the Smriti category, you get these amazing, beloved epics that bring it all to life. Stories you might have heard of like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, which includes the famous Bhagavad Gita. You know, this diversity is just baked right into the system. Hinduism is absolutely not a monolith. It has this long, rich history of debate and inquiry. You have these 6 major Darshanas, which literally means ways of seeing. Each one is a different school of thought. One might focus on pure logic, another on meditation. They're all just different lenses for looking at the same fundamental questions about life. And here's where it gets really cool. This culture of asking big questions didn't just stay in the world of philosophy. It spilled out and led to some absolutely incredible contributions to science and to, well, the whole world. I mean, take something we use every single second of every day, the number 0. The whole idea of 0 as an actual number, not just a placeholder, that was revolutionary. It's the bedrock of all modern math, all computing, all technology. And that concept was developed in India way back around 200 AD. And that was just getting started. I mean, check this out. By 700 BCE, you have the world's first university. 100 years later, there are texts describing complex surgical procedures. Ancient India also gave us the number system we all use today. And by 500 AD, astronomers were correctly writing that the Earth is round, that it rotates on an axis, and that it's held in place by a force, like gravity. Pretty mind-blowing stuff. And then there's Ayurveda, literally the science of life. We're talking about one of the planet's oldest systems of holistic medicine, going back over 3,000 years. It's not just about fixing you when you're sick. It's about maintaining this dynamic balance between your body, your mind, and your spirit. And of course, the big one, yoga. The word itself, yuj, is Sanskrit for to unite. And that's the whole point,
It's a discipline for uniting body, mind, and spirit. And while many of us know it for the physical poses, its real goal is much deeper. It's about mastering the senses and quieting the mind. And its impact is just huge. Nearly 37 million people practice it in the US alone. Now, what's really wild is that these ideas didn't just stay in India. They traveled, and they ended up having this profound and sometimes really surprising influence on Western culture, especially right here in America. Take a guy like Henry David Thoreau, one of America's foundational thinkers. He actually wrote, "In the morning, I bathe my intellect in the stupendous philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita." I mean, wow. He and other thinkers like Ralph Waldo Emerson were deeply inspired by these texts, seeing their own ideas about nature and the divine reflected back at them. Okay, let's fast forward to today and Hollywood. You've seen the movie Avatar, right? Well, the word avatar is pure Sanskrit, and avatara is a divine being who descends to Earth. And that's literally the plot of the movie. A hero descends into a new body to protect a world where all life is sacred and interconnected. It doesn't stop there. How about Star Wars? The whole concept of the Force, this mystical energy field that binds the galaxy together, it's incredibly similar to the Hindu concept of Shakti, or divine cosmic energy. And get this, the wise master Yoda? His name comes from the Sanskrit word Yoda, which means warrior. And one more for you, the Matrix. The entire premise of the movie, that the world we see is an illusion or Maya, and we have to break free to see what's real, that is a central, core teaching straight out of the ancient Vedas. Red pill, blue pill, it's an ancient choice. So, from ancient philosophy all the way to modern movie blockbusters, these ideas have been on quite a journey. But it's so important to remember, this isn't just history. Hinduism is a living, breathing faith practiced all over our world right now. In fact, right here in the United States, there are over 3 million Hindus. So this ancient faith isn't some far-off idea. It's a vibrant and growing part of the American spiritual landscape today. And on a global scale, while you'll find Hindus on every continent, it's the majority faith in 3 countries. India, of course, where it all began, neighboring Nepal, and the beautiful island nation of Mauritius. And that kind of brings us full circle, right back to where we started. Back to that idea of pluralism, truth is one, but the paths are many. So we'll just leave you with this to think about. In a world that feels so divided sometimes, what can we learn from a philosophy that doesn't just tolerate different paths, but actually celebrates them as valid and unique ways of seeing the same single truth?